outbreak of the pandemic COVID-19 has created a stressful environment for all, leading to worldwide psychological chaos. Fear and anxiety about the disease has caused strong emotions in adults and children. Each individual reacts differently to such situations. One needs to cope up with this to make yourself and the people you care about stronger.
To start with the fact that whether it be substance use or if it's smoking, drinking, again, it will do well to remember that all these behaviors that we see are a result of what we are facing also currently in terms of the lockdown and the COVID-19 situation. There is a lot of fear around us. There is a lot of panic around us. There is a lot of question marks actually. So understand that all these behaviors that we are talking about are also coping mechanisms. So how we would look at it and how I would like to frame it is that whenever and I'm not talking about this particular situation or that we are going through currently, but also otherwise, when we are going through stressful situations and we need to cope, we access our coping mechanisms, and the behaviors or the coping mechanisms that some of us have could be use of substance, it could be alcohol, consuming alcohol, or could be smoking, and these are all accessed to manage our distress. So today, more than any other time, I don't think there are two ways about it, but distress there is aplenty, and therefore we do tend to probably access these kind of behaviors to manage that distress. So right in the beginning, I would want to actually acknowledge that it is these are our ways of dealing with today's scenario, and those are valid reasons, valid ways. So it will be nice also, and it will be helpful for you to also acknowledge that yes, that this stress exists, and these are my ways of dealing with them. So having said that, I would like to actually move to the fact that these mechanisms that we are accessing, that some of us are accessing in terms of substance use and smoking and drinking. Now there are two things to it. When we are talking about accessing these substances, today it's difficult to access these substances because of the lockdown. We can't go out, we can't buy alcohol, we can't buy cigarettes. So that which used to relieve us from feelings of anxiety and panic and worry and depression for that matter, they are not accessible to us now. So and like any other substance use, stopping the usage would or stopping consumption would naturally lead to withdrawal and withdrawal symptoms, and that is an added, I would say, a stressor. So as it is, we have so many stressors around us. In terms of not just stepping out is just one thing, but unsure about how, whether I'm going to retain my job, how am I going to earn, where and how much, and what kind of food I'm going to get, how many people I can access after I come back, I mean after the lockdown is lifted. Is my life going to remain the same? If you're not staying with your family, when am I going to see my family? Or when am I going to see my loved ones? So already there are so many stresses, so many things that we worry about, and now because of not accessing those things which actually gave us some relief, the anxiety would be compounded. So yes, so that is going to happen, and that is probably going to happen in multitude of ways. Its repercussions are going to be probably seen, and you are already experiencing it, I am imagining, at a physical level, at an emotional level. So physically it might be symptoms like restlessness and fatigue and low energy, loss of hunger, loss of interest in doing anything, trembling, vomiting, gastric distress, or even very extreme kind of repercussions and withdrawal symptoms like seizures. So yes, a variety of manifestations, physical manifestations would be evident when it comes to withdrawal. And while there is a range of these symptoms, I would also say that there are various degrees or the severity of each of them would differ from person to person. So having said that, so that's the physical aspect of it. But if you look at the emotional side of it, or the emotional concerns or the repercussions, clearly, there are, things like as simple as restlessness, irritability, not sustaining interest in anything, anger, or even how do you say, feeling like I can't do anything, I don't have the capacity to do anything, so I don't feel good enough, I don't feel capable enough of doing things. So even these things are going to make an appearance when it comes to withdrawal, or when it comes to you stopping use of substance. So how I would look at this is, firstly, and I want to state this, is that it's very important for you to first say to yourself that yes, I am feeling this distress, and my way of coping, whatever it was, is completely valid, because it relieved my distress. So that is the first thing, first how do you say, first point, the first stage, or the first step to acknowledge your feelings. So that's one. Going beyond that, now depending on, like I said, so many repercussions, no? So what would one want to manage them is probably what we need to focus on, because we don't know how long this entire situation is going to last, and we would want to be safe. And how you would want to keep yourself safe is something that you may want to look at. So now, if you're talking about physical symptoms as low energy, or loss of appetite, or unable to sleep, so we can access various means of tiding over these. Probably, when you're talking about low energy, maybe take more rest if you're working from home or doing whatever kind of work at home, maybe take small breaks so that you can relax, you can recharge physically, you can recharge mentally. By physical recharge, I would say that maybe you can eat something, have a juice, or have something which is going to really recharge your energy. And it could be even simple drinking water, periodically drinking water, keeping yourself hydrated. It could be that, whatever works for you. And that's probably how you would want to retain or recharge yourself. Mental recharging, you could probably, if listening to music works for you, maybe a little dance works for you, or reading works for you, or just looking out the window and seeing people, or I don't see people nowadays, but if you see trees outside, I don't know, if that works for you, watching TV probably, that works for you. So whatever works for you. So looking at ways of recharging yourself mentally as well. So yes, so that's something that you can definitely look at. If it is something to do with more physical discomfort, like muscle pain, like trembling and all that, and if you already have experiences before the lockdown, and you have certain medications which are prescribed to you for managing those, maybe continuing to use those, or reaching out to your physician and checking with the person whether it's okay to use those medications, and if it's okay to use that particular dosage. So yes, you could try that. Also reaching out to so of course these are things which can be managed, but if there are things which are difficult to manage, like maybe seizures is something that definitely cannot be managed at home, so a medical intervention would be essential. And to keep your physician's number at hand, and giving it to your loved ones as well, so that they can contact them in the time of need, would be essential. So actually this entire this list of numbers which are going to be of use to you when there is crisis, needs to be kept with you and kept with your loved ones. So I'm coming to the very important component of managing is the loved ones that I'm talking about. So yes, please enlist people around you who care for you, who are worried and concerned about you, to check in on you from time to time, reaching out to them whenever the urge or the impulse comes. Maybe actually taking time out, talking to them, spending time with them till such time the impulse passes would be a good idea. So please make use of the resources. So now in these times, it's important to look at what are my resources right now. Look around you, and when I say resources, look at your loved ones. Look at the material resources that you have around you. Whatever, the TV, for example, the media, drawing, painting, music, whatever it is, the material resources. And of course, please do not forget that you yourself are a resource for yourself. And you can maybe do a little bit of writing, self-reflection, meditation, all these things which you can, of course, you can get plenty of material otherwise online also on this, so you could try that as well. So that would be extremely important, not to forget that everything that you do should be towards keeping yourself safe, and that should be a priority. So please remember that. And like I was saying in my previous and other videos, that please look at this lockdown as a tunnel, and how you come out of it will depend on how you manage the lockdown. So yes, negotiating the tunnel would be not just you, it will be a joint and a collaborative effort with people that also care for you. So I leave you with that. I hope this was useful. I would want you to just keep a couple of things in mind, and those I have written down here. So like I've said, remind yourself that I feel distress and this distress is valid. I have access to other methods of coping and that are also safe. I know and can reach out to people who are in my corner. So please remember this and stay safe and take good care of yourself. Thank you.